Alfa Romeo Automobiles is an Italian premium car brand originated in 1906 in Milan, Italy. When at the time of economic hardship of 1909, company shares were acquired by organization's managing director Stella, an Italian aristocrat. The Alfa Romeo Automobiles company was founded in June 1910, in Milan, Italy. The car brand's name comes from Anonima Lombarda Fabbrica Automobili. In the Italian language, Anonima means anonymous, which means the company founded by anonymous investors. The brand produced sport-oriented vehicles and has been involved in many car racing since 1911. The first car was designed and produced by the brand in the year 1910. The first factory building of A.L.F.A. was in the first place property of Società Anonima Italiana Darracq, called SED, founded in 1906 by the French automobile firm, with some keen Italian investors. In August 1915, the company came under the direction of an entrepreneur from Naples Nicola Romeo, who converted the factory to produce military hardware, munitions, aircraft engines, and other components. Compressors and generators based on the company's existing car engines were produced vastly in that factory during the war. The first car with the Alfa Romeo badging was the Torpedo 2030 HP. The brand is also a part of the car racing world since 1911. The first car from the company was designed by Giuseppe Merosi. In 1911, the brand competing in Targa Florio, an open-road endurance automobile race held in the mountains of Sicily near the island's capital of Palermo, Italy, with two 24 HP models. To establish a reputation in international racing, Alfa assigned Giuseppe Merosi to the task of designing a competitive sports car. It was based on the category of 40 to 60 HP. The result was the Alfa Grand Prix, the first motor car to feature a twin-spark ignition. A top speed of 87 miles per hour attained by the four-cylinder 4.5-liter engine. In August 1915, the company came under the direction of entrepreneur Nicola Romeo, who converted the car manufacturing factory to produce military hardware. These products are used by the Italian and Allied war efforts at that time, and the name of the company changed to Alfa Romeo. During World War I, Alfa lacked the funds. Nicola Romeo, a successful electrical engineer from Naples, Italy, purchased Alfa and other companies at that time and started producing portable compressors and airplane engines, and the company's name changed to Alfa Romeo Milano. The new name was registered on February 3, 1918. Alfa Romeo resumed production at the end of the First World War. They began by assembling parts and started designing new models of vehicles. The Grand Prix, which had been sold off during the war, was reacquired. The brand competed in some important Italian races in the early 1920s. Some of them are the Brescia circuit, Parma-Berceto, and Mugello circuit. In 1922, Alfa Romeo launched its successful RL, featuring a straight six engine with an overhead rocker arm and valves and brakes on all four wheels. The car was a very successful machine at that time, with a large number of sales, and got international orders. Because of the success in sales, there are 2,640 vehicles were built. It became known as Giuseppe Merosi's masterpiece in design and performance. 1923 is the year of success on the history of Alfa Romeo's racing history timeline. Legendary Alfa Romeo race car drivers like Ugo Savocci, Ascari, and Massetti used Alfa Romeos RL and won the legendary Targa Florio race in Sicily. Ugo Savocci, Ascari, and Massetti finished in the first, second, and fourth positions respectively. After the success in Targa Florio, Savocci was testing a new race car at the Monza circuit leads to his death due to a crash. This marked the creation of a custom. All future Alfa Romeo race cars would feature the four-leaf clover on a white triangle with the missing corner symbolizing the loss of Savocci. Today, Savocci's clover remains a symbol of race-worthy capabilities and, of course, a symbol of good luck. In 1924, Vittorio Jano, a legendary designer of Alfa Romeo racing cars who successfully created the Model P2, was a car with an 8-cylinder supercharged engine and 2 forced induction carburetors. P2 became one of the best Grand Prix vehicles of the 1920s. In 1925, Alfa Romeo won its first World Championship. This remarkable achievement in Jano's Gran Premio Tipo P2. 4 Alfa Romeos crossed the finish line, one after the other. After this spectacular victory, Alfa Romeo adds the laurel wreath to its logo. In 1928, the year that has marked Alfa Romeo's first victory at the Mille Miglia, the world's best motor race, an open-road endurance race consisting of a 1,000-mile through 2 Italian cities, Brescia and Rome. Enzo Ferrari started his Scuderia Ferrari racing team in Modena, Italy. It consists of more than 40 of the finest racing drivers of the age, including Ascari, Campari, and Nuvolari. The team managed all of Alfa Romeo's racing achievements. The cars were known as the Ferrari Racing Team Alfas. In 1930, Vittorio Jano unveiled an iconic car called 6C 1750. It had a more powerful engine than its predecessor 6C 1500. The 6C 1750 won the Mille Miglia race with an average speed of 62 miles per hour and marked a new record. In 1931, Alfa Romeo 8C 2300 with 8-cylinder engine and the long wheelbase vehicle gave the first Italian win at Le Mans, the world's oldest active sports car race in endurance racing of 1875-mile length, which had a domination of the British and French. The car recorded an average speed of 78 miles per hour. In 1933, Alfa Romeo was sold to IRI, Institute for Industrial Reconstruction, Italy, and also Nicola Romeo was replaced by Ugo Gabbato as a new director. Under new leadership, Alfa Romeo's racing tasks were transferred to Ferrari and there was a change in the logo. The prancing horse replaced the 4-leaf clover on all racing cars. In 1935, Luigi Bozzi designed the powerful bimotor for Scuderia Ferrari. These 2 8-cylinder inline engine vehicles broke 2 European race records. It reached 200 miles per hour over a mile, reaching top speeds of 226 miles per hour. In the same year, Tazio Nuvolari made an epic victory for Alfa Romeo. It achieved at challenging the Nürburgring circuit in Germany, defeated all its German counterparts. The 8C 2900 was the world's most beautiful sports car. Its 2-seater chassis made it ideal for motor racing. It was also produced as the 8C 2900B in 2 stylish variations: the short wheelbase, Spider Casa, and the long wheelbase, Coupe Touring. The racing version immediately delivered a result that went down in the history of Alfa Romeo racing. An incredible 3-win feat at the 1938 Mille Miglia. In 1938, designer Gioacchino Colombo helped shape A.L.F.A, the most enduring single-seater in modern racing history. Slender but incredibly nimble, it took first and second place during its debut at the Coppa Ciano race in Italy. The initial victories were followed by an unbroken series of Grand Prix triumphs that continued until 1950 when it won its first Formula One title. In 1945, the company went through some difficult situations in its history. Ugo Gabato was shot and killed by an unknown gunman while he is on the way to the company. Without a genuine leader, and most of the company's properties are destroyed in Second World War, the company went through some difficulties. But in the same year, Alfa Romeo got a new chairman called Pasquale Gallo. He took charge and tried to demilitarize the Alfa Romeo. An engineer called Orazio Sada Puliga was appointed as the chief designer for the Alfa Romeo revival. In 1947, Alfa Romeo began the production of well-designed Frecciadoro, a version of the 6C 2500 Sport with an abbreviated rounded tail. In 1949, the second car called Villa d'Este launched. It was a sports version of the 6C 2500 Touring already introduced. In 1950, the Alfa Romeo designer Orazio Sada Puliga began designing family cars with racing characters. In the same year, the Alfa Romeo won its first Formula One title in its history. The car driven by Nino Farina won the final race by beating another Alfa Romeo car. In 1950 also the car called 159 was born. It was a race car with more aerodynamic aesthetics with good design and styling. In 1951, one of the greatest Formula One driver Manuel Fangio won the second world championship for Alfa Romeo by using 159 A.L.F.A. In the same year 1951, Giuseppe Merosi took charge of Alfa Romeo. He controls the Alfa Romeo up to the year 1974. In 1954, the great car Giulietta was born. It was one of Alfa Romeo's most loved cars. The three models are Berlina, Spider and Sprint. In 1955, Carlo Abarth designed a prototype called Alfa Romeo 750, but it was remained an experimental prototype as the company more concentrated on cars like Giulietta and not gave enough attention to motor racing. In 1960, Giuseppe Merosi was named as a new chairman for the company. Alfa Romeo built a new factory near Naples, Italy. With a new chairman and the launch of a new plant in Pomigliano d'Arco near Naples, Alfa Romeo anticipated steady growth in Italy and beyond. In 1961, Alfa Romeo celebrated the success of the sale of 100,000th Giulietta car, one of the important milestone for the car. That means Italy loves the legendary car. This important milestone confirmed Italy's passion for the Giulietta. To mark the occasion, The traditional bottle of champagne was opened at Portello in Milan, Italy. A special guest at the ceremony was another equally famous Giulietta, the actress Giulietta Messina. In 1962, Alfa Romeo introduced the car with a revolutionized design called Giulia. It got wide applause from Italy with unmatched design and styling, and also achieved a milestone in passenger safety. In 1963, the Alfa Romeo brand returned to motor racing. The name of the racing was Auto Delta. The team led by Carlo Chiti. The successful relationship continued until 1984. In 1965, a new car was launched called GTA, was short for Gran Turismo Alleggerita. This race car was specifically designed for the Turismo category. Bertoni and Giugiaro's work of art retained the same lines as the Giulia Sprint GT, with lighter aluminum body panels and a 1600 engine with a double ignition cylinder head. In 1966, a new car launched, the Alfa Romeo Duetto. This car was a legend in the Alfa Romeo's history. With its great styling and also the car with cuttlebone shape and boat-like back, it got wide attention from the US, and nicknamed as the Graduate. In 1967, Alfa Romeo created one of the most beautiful cars ever called Tipo 33. The car was designed by Franco Scaglione. He has done a legendary job as this car had a great design. Only 18 cars were produced and today it is valued at over $13 million. Its shape was stylish, sculptural, and sinuous. The vehicle created a sense of movement and aerodynamics. The 33 Stradale had a perfect design, as it was a sophisticated sports sedan brimming with charm, audacity, and function. It would inspire Alfa Romeo's modern-day 4C. In 1970, a new car introduced, the Alfa Romeo Montreal, with a modern race car-like design captured everyone's attention. This Alfa Romeo with a great V8 cylinder engine that had 200 horsepower with a top speed of 137 miles per hour. In 1972, the brand came up with the car called A.L.F.A. A small Alfa is a more stylish and sporty sedan with de Dion suspension more commonly saw in Alfa Romeo 159, which has the name A.L.F.A. in older days. The new car has a rear gearbox and front engine, with greater stability and weight distribution compared to the older one. In 1975, there was a racing car prototype with a unique design had introduced. It was designed by Carlo Chiti. The racing car has 12-cylinder 500 HP boxer engine. Also in the same year, Alfa Romeo won its first World Car Championship with Alfa Romeo 33 TT12 with great driver Arturo Merzario. In 1981, the A.L.F.A. Coupe was introduced. It is a supercar with a V6 engine. It won several competitions including competition in Europe, Turismo, and the United States. In 1986, Alfa Romeo launched its Milan Design Center. This was due to the Finmeccanica sold Alfa Romeo to the Fiat. The state-of-the-art design center was associated with great design ventures and projects like Nuvola and Proteo prototypes and other projects like Mito, 145,156, and 147. In 1987 Alfa Romeo launched 164. Designed by Pininfarina, the Alfa 164 was the first automobile produced after Alfa Romeo was sold to the Fiat Group. The car was an instant hit in the US market. The car got features like a roomy cabin, stylish and modern look. It became so popular in America that special versions were made for the US market. In 1992 Alfa Romeo redesigned its Model 155. The 155 originated from another Model 75. It got modern features includes front-wheel drive and independent wheel suspension on the front and rear axles at that time. The car had a very good performance range and won some races including the Italian Super Turismo title. In 1997, the Alfa Romeo launched a model called 156. The car got several achievements including the Car of the Year 1998 in Europe. The model had a Cell-speed sequential gearshift and futuristic design. The car was an instant commercial hit and reached a good sales figure. In 2002 two models were launched, the 156 GTA and Sportwagen GTA. These models inspired by Giulia Sprint GTA, and cars had a great performance range at that time. It was introduced at the 1997 Frankfurt Motor Show as the replacement for the Alfa Romeo 155. The 156 received a positive reception and in the following year went on to win the 1998 European Car of the Year award. The Saloon 156 was discontinued in Europe late in 2005, while the Q4 Crosswagen continued in production until the end of 2007. In 2007 there was a car launch marked in Alfa Romeo's history. The 8C Competizione. It was a limited edition 8-cylinder engine car with all touring and sporty characters. The car has several technical and technological advancements and other quality and performance standards, which made it one of the great cars the brand ever made. In 2009 the Spider version launched. The Alfa Romeo 4C Type 960 is a mid-engined, lightweight, rear-wheel drive sports car. Available in coupe and Spider body style, it uses a carbon fiber tub, front and rear crash box, and hybrid rear subframe mainly out of aluminum to keep weight at 895 kilograms and 1,050 kilograms in the United States. The 4C is Alfa Romeo's first mass-produced vehicle of the 21st century to re-enter the North American automotive market. In 2017 Alfa Romeo launched the new stylish Giulia Quadrifoglio. The car has a beautiful design that attracts many car enthusiasts in Europe. The design was purely crafted from Alfa Romeo's design heritage. The car gives exceptional performance, driving dynamics, technological advancement that made it a great sedan. In 2018 Alfa Romeo launched its finest SUV Stevio. Name inspired by the Stevio Pass, the SUV is a masterpiece in terms of style and utility.